Hello everybody, welcome back to another installment of Life Stories. My name is Trent, and as usual, hope you guys are all doing great. Today, we got some stories coming at you from Reddit/entitledparents. So, without further ado, let's get it started. Our first story of the day is titled, A Failed Zoom Baby Shower/Gift Parade. I was on another sub and found something that frankly kind of blew me away. Under a thread about asking for suggestions for games to play at a baby shower, the sad and stressed update really had me reeling. Apparently, she has no clue why the 200 people she virtually invited are not playing by the rules, and it's causing a lot of issues now with family and friends. Grandma's posting about the baby shower she's throwing for her two daughters, grandbabies number 8 and number 9. Since COVID, there are only actually 20 people physically invited to her house, and she only has catering for 20 people because of this. That's totally understandable. With COVID right now, you really don't want to have large gatherings of people, and if her daughters are pregnant, especially, you don't want additional people around them if necessary. The rest of the 200 people invited were supposed to form a parade in their cars and drop gifts off, and then go home and attend a Zoom meeting for the next 4 hours, watching her daughters open the shower gifts. She did not include the address of her house on the invite because, as people RSVP'd, she was going to assign them their place in line so that people weren't sitting in their cars for an hour waiting to drop off their gifts. The sadness and stress? 65% of those 200 people she'd invited hadn't even RSVP'd. Out of the people who were not invited to the house, the few that said they would give a gift didn't see the need to attend a 4-hour Zoom meeting to watch her daughters open gifts. Since they weren't physically invited, some of them decided to pick up shifts at work, which angered her, and the rest of them, quote, didn't have valid reason, in her opinion, to not attend the Zoom meeting to watch her daughters open all their gifts. I was astounded. Yeesh! Just be grateful people are sending gifts. If people aren't physically invited and can pick up a shift at work, so what? I'm going to bet that the 200 people invited were her spamming her Facebook contacts of every single person she could think of and sending them a generic invite. I don't know anyone who has 200 close friends or family members. Of the people who said they would still give a gift, I'm assuming those are people from her actual close friends and family group. I couldn't believe she was upset they didn't further want to watch a 4-hour Zoom meeting of her daughters opening gifts. Hey, congratulations on your new grandbabies. I'm sure everyone wishes them the best. But when it's not a close friend or family member, people really don't feel the need to sit in a Zoom meeting and watch people they probably barely know open baby shower gifts. I loved baby showers with my friends and family, and the gift opening was cute. But when you go into a 2 to 3 hour gift opening, it's just kind of boring. Hope you like my gift. I have laundry to do. And you're not gonna notice if I'm there or not? Really? I certainly wouldn't sit in my car for an hour in a line of cars to drop off gifts at a certain time. COVID is putting a lot of stress on people, and it's true. People shouldn't be having large gatherings, so I guess you just have to be grateful for the people still willing to gift grandbabies 8 and 9 with something whether they attended a 4-hour Zoom meeting or not. She was getting a lot of support though on her thread. I wish her well. I just thought though, wow, she's actually really angry and upset, and has no idea that she's asking for way too much. Inviting 200 people? Gift grab. Just be glad some of them are actually going to drop off a gift. I gotta say, this story was written from a very strange perspective, very much first person, kind of a rant, bit different, I don't mind it. With that aside, people don't like sitting in Zoom meetings for work. What makes you think they're gonna sit in a Zoom meeting to watch kids they don't even know? Ugh, jeez. Moving along, our next story is titled, Entitled Mother Gets Told Off by Choir Director. Hey there, so I've been sorting through some of my childhood trauma and felt like this needed to be here. The EM, entitled mother, in this case, is my own mother. I don't think she was always terrible, but she definitely has her issues. Our cast: EM, entitled mother, my mom; CD, choir director; me and a couple of my friends, plus my entire high school choir. For a bit of backstory, in my junior year of high school, my choir auditioned to be one of the 3 choirs selected to sing at Carnegie Hall in New York City for a 9/11 tribute memorial thing. We made it in, and took the trip in the fall of my senior year. The day we flew out was the same day as an all-state audition, and so a few of the choir members, myself included, and my director stayed behind and took a later flight than the rest of the choir and all the chaperones. My mom was on one of the earlier flights, as she was a chaperone. On to the story. My group landed in New York City and met up with a larger group at our hotel. The first thing that happened was that my friends who had signed up to room with me and my mom, F1 and F2, came to me and told me that my mom had been cussing at people all day. This is significant because my CD hates cussing from anyone. So my CD finds out from another student and asks me to talk to my mom because she had a lot of other things to deal with at the time. I managed to say something, but my mom brushed me off, saying that people get offended way too easily. I'm slightly worried, but hopeful that she'll stop. Before we went up to our rooms, we went sightseeing for a bit and then came back to the hotel to sleep. We had a long rehearsal the next day, so it was very important that we sleep. Me, F1, F2, and my mom get to our room. My mom had been up earlier with our luggage, but was just quickly in and out. She hadn't really noticed that a window had been left open. The beds were wet and there was some mold. No big deal, the mattresses were dry. We could just call the front desk for the new sheets and deal with the mold, as we were only there for 3 days anyway. My mom accepted this and called the desk. They offered us a new room free of charge because of the mold. All of the negotiations and stuff took a bit of time because it was late and there weren't many people working at the time. So, by the time we picked up and got to our new room, it was almost 2 a.m. We had to be up at 6 to get ready for rehearsal, so me and my friends were just ready to sleep. This is where the EM comes out of my mom. The new room was a bit smaller than our last one. No big deal, right? It was a free switch and they didn't have any mold. Nope, my mom was furious that the hotel had transferred us to a smaller room. My friends were exhausted and fell asleep anyway, while my mom called my stepdad, who was not with us on the trip, and told him to call the front desk of our hotel and make them move us to one of the newly renovated rooms. So he did. It took a couple more hours though, and soon we were in yet another room. We had 2 hours until we needed to be awake, and none of us were happy. Several other things happened on this trip. My mom threw a fit at the 9/11 museum because I was hungry and I wanted to go with a different group while she stayed and looked around. She wanted me to stay because she held me while it happened and wanted to relive it with me. Keep in mind, we had already been there for an hour and had been in rehearsal all day. She also kept losing track of the students in our group. One of the girls would run off to be in her boyfriend's group, and I was the one that had to keep track of everyone because she couldn't. And she was still cussing through the whole trip. Finally, we were getting off the buses at the airport to go home, and my mom said one last cuss word, right behind my CD. My CD, who is usually a very quiet person, whipped around, pointed at my mom, and said, "Don't ever curse in front of my students again." My CD turned back around and ushered us all inside. My mom was trying to laugh it off, saying things like, "What's her problem?" and "I wonder who peed in her Cheerios this morning." I kept telling her to stop and eventually just gave up. We traveled back in the same groups we came in with, so I was on the plane with my CD and EM was on a different plane. My CD pulled me aside and apologized for berating my mom in front of my peers. I told her it was fine and that I had to deal with it a lot, so it was nice to see someone stand up to her. I was asked to never bring her on school trips again. And that's my story. I'll probably have more as I sort through all my past experiences, but yeah, thanks for sticking around this far. I can't be the only one who thinks wanting to experience 9/11 again with your child is a little bit weird. Maybe? Just a bit? Probably. And with that, we have enough time for one more story today, and it's titled, "EP Ruins Little League Baseball Fun for Our Whole Team." When I was 10, I played on a Little League baseball team with my best friend. His dad was our coach. He was awesome in that he didn't just stick kids in the outfield to punish them. We all rotated positions to get experience everywhere. Anyway, he had a deal where we would hand out packets of baseball cards at the end of every game based on things you did throughout the game. For example, hitting a single was 1 pack, participating in and out was 1 pack, a home run was 4, etc. This was entirely out of the coach's own pocket and kept our spirits high, even if we lost the game. Every player was guaranteed 2 packs just for being there. After one game, I was going to stay the night with my best friend, so we were waiting for his dad to finish up when an entitled parent of our teammate approached the coach. "Why did my son receive 2 packs of cards?" The coach, visibly confused, "I give cards to all players after each game." "But why did he only receive 2? "That's what every player gets every game." Did I miss a play that your son made? Side note, the son hates playing baseball. He told us as much. He avoids every ball that came his way and was often crying after returning from the batter's box. Baseball just wasn't his thing. EP says, "No, you gave the coach's son 4, and that one, which was me, 3. I'm sorry, my intention is to incentivize plays while also encouraging participation." Ugh! The parent storms off. The ride back to their house was somber. Coach didn't talk much, and we didn't know what to say. The following practice, our coach explained how he will no longer be handing out the card packs after games. We were all upset, but became mad when we learned it was because teammates EP complained to the league managers and put a stop to it. Is that even a thing that kids like these days still? Baseball cards? Even I feel like I missed that trend by like 20 years. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, with that out of the way, we are out of time for today's episode. I want to thank all of you so much for tuning into Life Stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Reddit content coming your way. My name is Trent, and I hope to see you guys soon.